Well, it wasn't the cleanest. Obviously, look at the weather. But, you know, I think these guys right here are the kind of the epitome of what our program's really been about. To see how we've grown. I told these guys in the locker room, we got a lot of text messages earlier today from the former seniors. And those guys were a big part of what it is that we've done all this entire year. We learned a lot from our failures from last year, even from the failures we had throughout January, February, March, you know, and even this year. And we couldn't do what we've done without the seniors. And I kind of praise Hayden. I did it a couple weeks ago at our senior kind of banquet. And sometimes it feels, and I'm sure he could tell you, sometimes it's kind of like lip service. Sometimes people think, you're praising guys for, you know, and just because you want to be nice at a senior banquet. And the reality is, I didn't just want to be nice. It's something that I really believed and felt that has really helped our program grow. And you've seen it on the football field, but it's grown even further in the locker room. And these guys are a big part of it because of their selfless commitment to one another. I think when you see guys go down, especially like they did today, it wasn't just the quarterback. You know, our starting number one wide receiver went down. Our number one, the number one linebacker, Will linebacker, went down after, you know, our top tackler on all league, Will linebacker, went down earlier in the year. Now our next one went down, and we had a true freshman come in there that's still redshirted and stepped up and made some plays for us too. So I think around the board, quite impressive, not just with how they played, but how they've stuck together.
You just mentioned how Desmond went out and then Khalil went out and all that. This guy here, I remember in 2014, he couldn't play in this game. What do you have to say about your senior quarterback?
I mean, you gotta say is just turn the film on and watch, but not just his ability to, you know, to make some plays like he did, but his ability to earn the respect of those guys around him for what he's done all year. You probably can't even see it. But if you're standing down there on the field and all the stuff that happened during that game, the respect that he had because of how he handled this entire situation, how he's continued to work, how he's continued to prepare, never knowing when his opportunity was going to come, I think really showed. And again, everybody can see it from, you know, the plays he made on the field, but I could see it from the eyes of the guys that were around him.
Mike, you take a shot and go out of the game. When you came back, it seemed like it was running style maybe a little bit more angry, is a good word, from that point forward?
I mean, yeah, I would say it was angry, but I just felt like as a team player, I had to go back in and, you know, go back out there for my teammates and do whatever I can to get something out of something. And that's always on my mind, you know, just being there for my teammates during that time in the game, just make sure I shook the hit off and just got back out there and made plays.
Michael, what were you seeing out there in the run game today? What made that run game so productive today?
Just being patient. The O-line doing a great job getting to the double team, especially Katie, getting extra yards. Everything just clicking at the end of the game, and the O-line did a great job of getting the push, especially at the end. You keep running the ball and wearing another team down. They're not wanting to see any more of that.
Ian Pascal, Montgomery County Sentinel. My question's for Hayden. What was your mindset when Desmond went down and you knew that it was your turn to go up? What was your mindset going into a game of this caliber?
I knew this opportunity was coming sometime in the year. I always had to be ready. I mean, when I saw that, I didn't blink an eye. I just went and grabbed my helmet, and everybody, as I was walking to the huddle, was like, "Hey, you got this. You got this. We're behind you the whole way." So that really encouraged me, and I just got in there and started running the plays. I mean, nothing's changed.
Hayden, at what point did you realize Des wasn't coming back in? Did he say anything to you?
I guess right after that series, Dr. Colosimo came back and was like, "Hey, you got it." And then Desmond came back on the field with no pads on. He was like, "All right, you got to finish the game off for us." And I was like, "I got you."
Coach, you've said from week one you're going to need him at some point in time. Just happened to be, the bowl game. How poetic was that?
He thought I'd been lying to him. Sometimes I wish I was, but no, you just never know. I think that's the lesson that you can learn from this game, that you can learn for a lifetime, is you just never know when those opportunities are going to come up. And your ability to step up when the opportunity arises is what this is all about. It's what the game's all about. It's what winners are all about. It's about guys that prepare. It's the greatest example that you can have. And like I said, I'm happy. I'm incredibly happy for him. I'm incredibly happy for the program because they got to see an example we tell them all the time, we see better than we hear. You know, a guy comes up to me and tells me, I want to be a great player. Okay. I see better than I hear. Let me see by the discipline, by the decisions you make, by the way you work. And they're the same way. Hey, you just keep working, good things are going to happen. And in reality, sometimes they need to see it as well. So what he did and what he continued to do will be something we talk about for a long time, but is a lesson, I think, that can be learned, not just for these guys in the program now, but the guys to come as well.
You played without James Wiggins for the first half. He seems to have a flair for the dramatic there at the end.
Yeah, he did. He is. You know, he's one of our. I'm not saying leaders because he's a sophomore, but he's one of our best players, and I think he makes others around him better just because of the way he's worked and where he's come from one year to the next. You know, I think people feed off of that, and ability for, we didn't even bring that up, ability for Tyrell Gilbert 6 days ago to switch positions and play that field safety for us and go out there and play with confidence, and then have the ability when Wiggs comes back in the game in the second half to be able to move himself back to corner. You see that kind of stuff that happens, and guys don't bat an eye, and guys believe in each other, even when they have to move around the spots. That's where the strength of the program is really, you know, that's where you see the culture and the belief in the things that you're doing are so much stronger than even just the plays and the athletes that are playing on the football field.
Coach, can you talk about the big ending? I mean, the game-saving stop on one end, and then the offense drives right down. Can you talk about how it went?
There's a lot of things that go into it, and I think momentum is a huge part of it. To us to make the people, I mean, you can go back, but to make that stop down there after we had an interception, to make that stop down there on 4th down, you know, I knew darn well, and I would have done the same thing. I'm going for it. You know, we're not going to go up 6 points. We're going to go up, you know, 10. And so for us to make that big play right there was huge defensively. The offense to come back out, move the football down, and for us ability to punt the ball down in, you know, just continue to believe. I think that's where you got to just see. The other thing that I think is people were going to forget a lot about, and I think it's a learning example. We intercepted a ball 2 plays before the finale of the pretty much of the game, what sealed the game, and we get called for a PI, which I'm not saying it's not a PI. It is, you know. But a lot of times when situations like that happen, you get panic. You lose your mind. You see coaches lose their mind. You see players lose their mind, and they can't respond and play the next snap. And for our ability, because we lost our mind a little bit in the first half. I'm not going to lie to you, defensively, you know, some arguing and things like that, which happened in a game. But for those guys to handle that adversity right there, go back out there and have the opportunity to make the play to seal the game, that's where you see the growth in a lot of the things that we've been doing.
Coach, if you could comment, and maybe also Hayden's weigh in, but third time in program history to win 11 games, what this means for Cincinnati football?
I mean, these guys can comment as much. I mean, he's been here longer than I have. He knows it. He's felt it. He's been a part of the ups and the downs. I think that, you know, people would always ask you, did you exceed expectations? No, we're never going to exceed expectations. We have an incredible expectation. We don't always talk about them publicly because I don't think that we want to use expectations to limit us or to make us feel like we aren't progressing. So we continue to battle the objectives of things we do every single day. But I think this is where we build our program from because, again, you see better than you hear. Everybody does. Now they see the fruits of their labor and how they've worked and how they've committed and how they've sacrificed to have the success that these guys are experiencing right now.
Getting the 11th win, something I can say to in years to come. When I tell my kids, I was one of the 3 teams to get 11 wins, and even if I didn't play today, I was still going to be saying that because I'm so proud of like this team and what we did. I know that everybody really wanted to. Because I've never won a bowl game here. My first 2 years we lost, so this was really huge for me to actually experience a bowl win, and it was better than expected for sure.
You briefly mentioned Ty Van Fossen before, but one of the bigger plays I thought of the game, going and breaking up a pass in the end zone with them, trying to pick on him, and it's what his second game that he's played all year. You talk about him staying ready and stepping in.
Yeah, it might be his first game. I'm not sure it's not his first game.
First game, yeah.
It's another one of those rules I think is really, really a good situation, you know, especially when you have some injuries. And there's a lot of guys that could have went in that situation, and Ty happened to be the guy that was rolling in there. And I think that's where he sees, and again, I think he sees and feeds off of guys like Hayden to see when their opportunities come, you know, what he did in that time. and what he was doing in that time. And I think they gained confidence in that. Here's a kid that watched it happen in front of him, watched a change happen in front of him when Perry Young went down, and to see, Jarrell White step in there and do what he needs to do, and then his opportunity came up too. And I think this is what the program will be about. And yes, it's 11 wins. Yes, it's history. But we'll take as coaches all the lessons that we can learn from not just this game, but this entire year, and that's another one.
For the players, it seemed like a very elated bunch of happy guys out there on the field after the game. What does it mean to win, not just win the bowl game, but to beat an ACC team and to, I don't know if it felt like a road game to you or not, but obviously they had to win a game where obviously they had a lot of fans there, more than your fans. What did this win mean to you guys?
Well, it means a lot, especially last year being 4A now and being home while watching the games last year, being home and watching other people play. I really think it left a chip on our shoulder, and being on this type of level and being at this stage and be able to go out there with your teammates and compete. I felt like everybody was just happy, and there was a whole bunch of joy in there, and especially coming from last year and knowing in the offseason all the hard work we put in and the blood, sweat, and tears. And I just felt great to get this win, bowl game, when it's my first bowl game, just being in college. And Coach Fickell for the first bowl game being on the team, and it was just all the team effort, and I'm highly appreciate to be on this team.
After the game, it was real emotional down there, obviously. Getting congratulations from everybody, hugging everybody, because this is my last game. Everybody's like, gonna miss you, blah, blah. So it was really emotional for me. Being able to beat the Power 5 conference team, I know a lot of people really didn't count us in, and maybe the other American Conference games haven't really gone too well. So it's really impressive that our team could go out there and show everybody what we can actually do.
I think the thing about it too, I'll just comment because I think it's about a battle, and to see, we try to say, hey, what's the difference? I don't care what conference we're from. We try to believe that we're as equal and the same as anybody. But I think the way the game went, the ups and the downs from both sides, give them all the credit in the world too. It wasn't like you've seen some of these games where somebody comes out and thinks they're that much better than somebody and lays down. They played their hearts out too. They played well, and to have our guys continue to battle through and to come out the way we did, I think that's why you see so much joy. Not that they wouldn't have been as excited had it been, not a game-ending situation, but I think to see all the lessons and all the emotion that went through that game, because there was a lot of ups and downs. I think that's what makes this so special.
Couple more.
Mike, you had a second fumble that got away from you and came out, and Coach kind of put his arm around you. What did he say to you in that moment?
Don't tell me.
He didn't say what I expected him to say. He just really comforted me and just told me everything's gonna be okay. He trusts me and I trust him. Once you build that trust with another person, these are the type of results you get, and I know I had to make up for it, especially for my team and Coach Fick. I didn't want to have 2 fumbles with a loss, but Coach Fick basically said, just keep your head in the game, don't let that frustrate you. The defense got you, and the team effort, and when you got your teammates and coaches and everybody just being on a positive level, everything goes right.
Last question.
Coach, this game kind of played out a lot similar to the week 1 at UCLA. Just talk a little bit about the resiliency, kind of going down late in the 4th quarter.
I think that was a big, we've talked about it as a team, that was a big growing point for us. Because you go in that first game and you think you've made a lot of strides as a coach and as a program, and then to see those guys go out there and yes, win, but the way they won in that first game, but really to see the locker room after it. We won 4 games the year before, and there wasn't one of those games that felt anything like what that locker room felt like in Pasadena. Not just because we were in Pasadena, not just because it was UCLA, but because of the way it went, because of the feeling that you really earned it and you beat somebody, as opposed to last year. It was almost like we squeaked them out and we were fortunate to get some wins. And I think from that time on, you just seen a growth. And each and every week, whether we failed, there's 2 weeks in there that we failed. We didn't pull out the game in Temple, and the following week we did pull a game out at SMU, and then we failed at UCF. But these guys did an unbelievable job of what we say of failing forward and learning from what it is that they did and continue to build upon it. And I think that's where, as a coach, you feel so excited about your program.
All right, Coach Cincinnati, thanks so much for coming. We had a great time this past week. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.